talented. Yeah.
Nice. Alwal, what about you?
As for me, mine is not so big. I'm a student at Stafford International University College, Department of Mass Communication and Journalism. Currently, I am with Juba Echo, where I'm doing my internship program, and mainly there during the 16 days of activism and other days, I usually speak on gender, especially gender-based violences and early child marriages, and then plus some kind of cultures that have, that are within and that are affecting especially the girl child.
Very nice. You said it's not so big, but I think that's pretty big and very commendable. You're involved in quite a few things, and I think that's big. Yeah, so good on you. Let me start with the controversial term feminism itself. Yeah, so I think when I saw the name of the show, which is Young Feminists Emerge, I want to hear from your view why you think you are young feminists. What makes you young feminists? Yeah, Raila, you can go first.
All right. According to my opinion, being a young feminist, I've just gone through a training on feminism, on how I've developed to be a feminist. Is just that I've known to know my rights and what and how I should prioritize myself as a woman and a young lady. So I feel like I'm still growing. Like
You're
I'm a
still
young,
learning what that
yeah, I'm
is and what
still
that
yeah,
means.
I'm still learning. Yeah, so I've not reached that extent that I'm now fully a feminist. So
Okay,
it
and
makes me a young feminist.
all right. What about you, Alwat?
As for me, it's a little bit difficult because we just went through a training together with Ryder,
Mm-hmm.
and according to what I learned about feminism, is that like how much you value yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are certain things that culture has constructed, or there are certain things that culturally are instilled in you as a woman. But it depends if you try like to move away from them. I'm pretty sure you're already a feminist by doing that.
I love that you said that. I'm a feminist, right? And I think anyone that that wants equal rights for women, equal opportunity for women, I think they're a feminist too. It's just I'm not sure why the term is very controversial,
I
right? Or
know.
we don't understand. Sometimes it's because people don't really understand what you're trying to do, trying to say, and maybe because some of us feminists are very opinionated and do not take lightly to our rights.
Yeah,
So
true.
let me ask you less about the term and more about the work. You said you've learned a few things during the training. I want to know, what have you learned about women's rights in general, and what do you think in South Sudan? In South Sudan, what kind of rights do you think you still do not have as a young woman, and you want to fight for?
Um, let me start with me because on my side, I'm just trying to start off and kick off, and maybe I've already started late. So when I go out there and try to do my, let me say, my passion and try to become independent, we have relatives and families that really don't want you to be that. Like, why would a girl child move and do this stuff by her own? Like, you're not a male child to do such things. Yeah, and I have a right as a young lady to do what like I love and to do what I know that I'm good at. So I
I
see
want
it's
you to be a bit more specific. What do you mean? What do you want to do? What is it
it's like
that you're
my
finding resistance?
it's like something my right, like my passion, my talents.
Okay.
So why would I be able to deny my talents and my passion? And it's something that I'm good at, and it's something that I know I can do best. So when they say that you won't do this, you're a girl child, you can't be able to do this. Like, I mean, like, I'm an artist, and when they be like, no, you can't go and start painting on the walls because you're a girl. Like, is that really right? And like, I can't do it. It's my
You
work.
faced that kind of resistance. You can't paint.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about you, Olwal? What's your experience?
Mine, I think, will just start from the poster that came out.
Mhm.
Actually, when that poster, I put it onto my walls.
Our
my
own
Facebook-
poster,
yeah,
Young
yeah, the
Feminists
poster, yeah.
Emerge. Mhm.
The way it was, so someone in the comments was like, bring my eyeglasses. Let me. Someone was like that, you know. Just, and I asked why. The person was like, that what feminist is something else, you know. So sometimes being that is really not that easy in the country. First of all, with my own family, when I decided like to tell my family members that I'm going for this talk show, then people started saying all the kind of names they really wanted to. And actually, I would really go to the main question you asked. I think you were around what kind of issue, like are people advocating for, yet South Sudanese have not yet reached there, like the South Sudanese women. Actually, mine would go on the education. The education right is really, really still very less. They say it's like about 62% have not yet gone to school who are girls. You know, people are out there just suffering and all this kind of stuff. And the other thing is the reproductive right. You know, most of the women today in this country are going through this. You know, you just winded a baby, or you want to go to school and someone says no, you're not going to. You have to give birth to kids. And these are things like I think young people like us should really come out and tell the society about.
Let me also add. You see, sometimes when I look at our country, like there are not so many women doing work.
Right.
It's only men. So why is it that like we are human beings, right? And we also like we're part of the world and we're part of the society that everyone is in. So why don't we have the same rights? Why can't we be in offices, at least be recognized? Yeah.
Okay. I want to rephrase a part of your statement. You said not so many women work, or women don't work.
Sure.
All women are working. Women
But
are breaking their backs every day,
we are not
but they
recognized.
don't get the same opportunities as men. They're not given the same positions. We are not as many as we would like to be in executive offices. But women are absolutely working, and probably the most hardworking people
I know that,
in the
right?
country
I
right now. So I
know.
just wanted to rephrase that.
Okay.
But yes, absolutely right. We want equal opportunity, and that does not mean you can pick anybody. No, but we have women who are qualified for different positions or all positions. It doesn't mean pick anyone. It means pick somebody that is right for the job. But we do have women that
Okay.
are available.
That's right.
So let me ask you. Let me go. You said you're both in university right now. Can I just ask? At your time, at your age, being students right now, what are the most what are your challenges? What challenges do you face going to school, whether it's in school or at home, or you trying to pursue your major? You said journalism, computer science, I think, right? So what kind of challenges do you face as a young woman?
Let me pass it to her.
Okay, Alwal, go ahead.
As per for me, it's a little bit hard. Starting from when I was choosing my career, actually, my father said, "You can't do journalism." That was my dad. He was like, "You can't do it," and he was like, "You should be going for courses like business. You should be going for courses like economics." And I told him, "This is what I want to do, and this is what I feel right about." We argued and stuff like that. Later on, he agreed what I wanted. The first kind of thing we face, not me as only, but also to other university girls out there, is that people are being termed names. As per now, you know, Stafford International University that we are in is called the Prostitution Center in South Sudan, in Juba, actually. When they just say that you are going to Stafford, they say, oh, you're going to do prostitution. That's City Mall. That's what people term it as it is, because they believe these are spoiled girls from East Africa. These are spoiled girls who have come from wherever the world and they're studying this side. You know, so being called names is something we really do not like sometimes, but we're going through it, either through at a family level or even with friends. We're going through that. Most of the people actually were telling me, why didn't you go to Jama Juba? You know, like it's a university, it's a recognized university, you know. But then I had my own reasons why I decided to go to Stafford. My father had his own reasons. The other thing I would like to say sometimes is transport fare, because university is really funny a bit. You have days that you have to go to the university, and some days you're not supposed to go. So with the crisis we have right now, with the inflation we have in the market, it's really an issue.
Things are a bit difficult.
Yeah, things are really difficult. And the other main really reason we're going through is that our families are calling us names, because you as a girl child reaching to the university and you're not married is something that people look at and they see you as a failure. People don't see education as an investment. So, and days back, they only believed that boys could only go to school, no girls would go to school. But in my family, I would say we all girls have gone to the university. Just the few that are still behind us, they're still in secondary school. My dad decided to do that. He was like, I don't mind, because he has something, he's investing in us. But the rest of the family members, when you go back to the village, everyone is going to ask you, when are you married? So we're really going through a lot. That's all I can say for now.
All I can say is I am so sorry. I've never heard of this labeling of Stanford University students. I've never heard of it before. But I'm not surprised, because that's our society. We like to label people, especially women. So I'm not surprised, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. What would you change?
As per for me, I think change. I mean, charity starts at home. Yeah, charity starts at home, and that's one thing I would say. Like when we're home, we can always try to talk, like me probably with my brothers and some of my relatives. We always argue about this stuff, especially about girl child education. Sometimes we'll be challenging them, and we're like, we're all here at home, but who is bringing food to the table? Because I have a sister of mine who is she's working, and every time she's bringing stuff home. So sometimes we'll be challenging each other, and we are like, who brings things home now? It's we girls, you see. So this is like an advantage of girl child education. The other thing I would also say, it also starts from parents. As if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm not wrong, this is the 21st century, and technology and the world is moving at a fast level. So the only thing I would say, and I think if I go back to where I'm working, I think I will always talk about this, because girl child education is always important.
Very
I would advocate
important.
for that. And also sometimes I would also tell my colleagues out there, sometimes it's not good to be arguing with people. Like maybe someone says, Alwal, you know what, why are you even studying? Why are your parents even wasting this thing on you? You don't need to defend yourself sometimes, because that is going to put your morale down, and it's going to leave you discouraged. So just let them be.
And Viola?
Would I first go behind the challenges I face as a girl in the university right now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let me just mention this of Mari that she said earlier. Yeah, you see, when you reach university, in our country, it's believed that when you reach high school level, you should stop going to school and get married, or you find the right guy to get married to and start a family. But I think we should change this mentality of doing things, as in we should always stop in senior four, but at least we have dreams. We have to go ahead and do what we're supposed to do and build ourselves. Let me add on also, we really face a lot of things, like us, here in South Sudan, going to the university in the morning, transport, getting handouts, lunch, everything, everything is just costly. And we really don't have proper jobs that will make us stay and support ourselves. And we feel like we are grown, and also our families feel like we are grown. We can do things for ourselves. We are big girls and we are big boys. So it's really very hard and challenging, to go to other people and try to get support. So it's really very challenging.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you change?
What I would
let me
change,
put it like this. You've done the training with Mama Rasakit on feminism. What was the training about? Tell us.
Okay, I think the training was all about stepping out. Yeah, I've learned so much, stepping out of let me say, of the house, meaning that to step out, to know what you're supposed to do and to become independent. and to realize your rights as a young lady, to look for what to do, your passion, and you should stick to what you're doing, not to get distractions. Yeah, I've learned so much in the Mamarasaki village, the training that we did on. I've really learned so many things. I've learned. I didn't even know my own grandmom, but I got to know her like through that training, and also I learned that we women, we are the world, and without us, the world can't exist. So everything that we are really doing, it's for us, not for any other person. We are the world. We are everyone. We are even men, because without men and without us, like men could be there, like. So I think we both need ourselves.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what was the training like for you?
Um, Actually, Mama Rasakit Village has done us a great job. I remember the training was a 5 days training, and in each and every day we had different sessions. I remember in the first session we had something like, "Who are you?" This is where like we were asked, "What is the story behind your name tellings?" And I remembered very well that most of the colleagues, people were stressed out, like they were really asking themselves, what made my parents, what made my parents to give me this name. And on other days, we also learn through like what kind of a journey you as a woman have you taken, or like since you were born, what have you gone through? And it was really very challenging. I can tell you for myself, I remember in most of the activities, I was saying it was really challenging. And I remember very well there was where we were given self question reflections, and they were asking us if this was your day on earth, what would be your last meal? And sincerely, looking at this, it was really crazy. I was like, okay, if this is my last day, I don't really know. I remember I did not even feel in anything. And then I remember the last day we spoke on feminism. And actually, we spoke a brief history on feminists, like how it came about. Then we also spoke on the global issues around, why feminists are advocating for this. And we also looked into our own country. And actually, what I've learned from the 5 days training is that we as women, there's a way the cultures, or there's a way society has put us, has tried like to silence our kind of work. I remember John Garang's speech, where he was saying women are the marginalized of the marginalized groups. He was trying like to speak of a lady gets up at 5 a.m. and is the last person to sleep later on in the night, going to fetch water, doing this. But the society doesn't recognize the kind of work we do. Men be seated there and they're not doing anything. But you as a woman, you are even dying on what you're doing. And you guess the craziest thing? You're doing like 5 activities at the same time. And then someone is just there seated. You cannot say, please fetch water. Or someone finds you seated and is like, put water in my bucket and take to the bathroom. What is that? So sometimes the society doesn't, has put a lot of burden on we women. But when you look at these things are not natural. They're socially constructed. It's not like you being born as a woman. You cannot change that you are a woman, right? But these things are socially constructed. They can be changed. And I think this is what feminism is about. Like these things can be changed. If one time man and woman, or the society sat down and constructed these activities, this would be for a man, this would be for a woman. The same society can go back again and construct these same things. That's exactly what I've learned.
Okay, that's great. I think the entire training, the purpose of it was to create awareness for you about yourself, because you can't really know what your purpose is, what your cause is before getting to know yourself.
Yeah.
For you to understand what you're fighting for, what kind of rights you want to fight for, what kind of opportunities you think women do not have and should get, what kind of anything that you would like to fight for, women or not. It has to start with self-awareness. That means you get to know yourself. Who are you really? What do you like? What don't you like? What is it that upsets you? What would you like to fight for? What bothers you? That was the purpose of the training, because I don't think feminism is something that can be pushed into you. It's something that you just have. and you just have to realize what it means for you. That's why I said anyone in the world, man or woman, if something upsets you, if you feel like women do not have their full rights, if you feel like you want to advocate for education of young girls, if you feel like you want to advocate for equity, right? You're a feminist, right? You just have to define it for yourself what that means, right? So that was the purpose of the training. And what I'm trying to do here is trying to understand what you got out of it or what you understood from it. So I want to ask you this. Usually there's a lot of resistance around feminism, a lot of
Sure,
resistance
sure.
around the word feminism, right? What made you attracted to the term? What made you say, I want to know what that is and I want to do this training?
All right, yeah. I do follow a lot of feminists on Twitter. Yeah. And I've been seeing the collision between men and young ladies.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've seen the hatred. It's like when you're a feminist, you're not married, you're not like, you don't want to get married, and you really don't
That's the
want,
perception that's
that's
out
their
there.
perception, yeah. And like when you're feminist, you don't know your rights as a woman and as a young lady. Yeah, I know my rights, I know my duties. It's like when you're a feminist, you don't even know your duties. You deny your duties as a young lady or as a woman. Like that's how that's how they perceive all that wrongly, which is not okay.
Okay. And Alwal, what made you attracted to the term? Or you said, I want to know what this is, or I want to get to know it?
For me, the main reason I wanted to know more about is because I want to get more knowledge. Actually, I've told most of my friends, like, okay, when we discuss this, everyone starts saying, this woman want equal rights with men. So for me, what really attracted me to was like to get more information, so that when I get out to my friends who are saying that women want equal rights with men, I tell them it's not what they want. That was my main purpose.
Okay.
Let me add on it. Yeah, you see, I really wanted to attend this training because I really wanted to know deeply what is feminism and what is it to be a feminist. So that I also feel that because I'm a lady and I really want to know. So that's why I had to make a step and do that training.
1 minute.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. You keep
Actually,
giving each other ideas.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Actually, the other reason was because the society around us is really very poor. Like, I can really be honest, because these issues are happening below our noses every day, either with our neighbors, either within our families, either even with our friends. People are calling, people are dying, people are going through difficult things, and people are just quiet about it. And also, the other reason, really main reason I really wanted this, like, I really felt so thankful to Agao, because she's the one who called me. It's because feminists in this country are really facing a lot of things. And honestly, I would really be very glad if I could really join them and if I could really advocate for the same things they're advocating for. Because, first of all, they're called names, sorts of names. When you hear someone saying, I'm a feminist, they start, you're a wizard. They start like, these are home destroyers. They'll start like, these are people who don't want to get married. They'll start saying names like, I really don't know. I think you even know much more about it, because it's really, really difficult. And for me, I wanted to be there because I want to know these challenges. And as a young person, my theme or my motto I always move with, I always accept challenges. I always accept a challenge. So to challenge the society, you have to know more. So it had also to be part of my life or a part of my journey to attend the training.
I absolutely agree with you that you have to know more, right? One of my rules and one of my favorite things is don't talk about it if you don't know what you're talking about, right? So the best advice you can get right now is quiet the noise. Yes, there's resistance. Yes, there's challenges. Yes,
Yeah.
there's labeling, there's name calling, and so on and so on. But right now, it's almost like I don't hear it because I'm very clear on what I'm fighting for. Once you get to know your why, the how does not matter anymore. Who's
Sure.
in your way does not matter anymore. You don't hear them. You're just moving. So I would advise you to focus less on what's outside of what you're trying to get to know, right? Yes, the resistance is there, it exists, right? Every now and then you encounter it, sometimes on a daily basis, probably on your timeline, you see it all the time, but um, put more time into getting resources, understanding what it is that you want to do. I also wouldn't advise that you, is that I want to advocate for the same things that they advocate for. I used to also think like that, but now it's more so what I feel I need to do is what I'm going to do. And what I feel is of purpose to me is what I'm going to do. If we're fighting for the same thing, then great. Let's join hands and move forward. If not, then I'll support you and you support me. You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you have to find out what it is that you yourself want to do, right? I think you can, your own feminism, right? Be your own feminist. Any kind of thing, it's best not to follow somebody else's belief. Find your own. Um, Now I want to ask about a trending topic, right? I want to see what's a young people, what's a young women's view on this. One of the most trending topics in the past 2 days is the Ruang administrative area reducing the bride price to 10 cows. I'm not sure how many it was before. I think just before it was whatever the family requests, then that's what you have to pay. But now they've limited it to, they've brought it down to 10 cows, right? What's your view on that? What do you think about that? And do you think other areas in South Sudan need to follow in that direction? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? How do you feel about it?
All right. For my case, I think it's something good because, like it's really not good for us to be bored with a lot of 100 cows, and then when you do a mistake in your house, you be like, you're brought with this kind of cows. So don't, like, you just have to abide by what the cows, maybe the number of cows or the wealth. So I think it's something that like an advantage to us girls, because like men won't brag so much that you came with a lot of cows. I bought you with a lot of cows and you came in this house with this kind of wealth. So you have to abide by everything that it says, or though it's wrong. So I think it's something good. We also have a lot of ladies that maybe are not married, and families are not the same. The classes of families in South Sudan aren't the same. So we get to, like, this is an advantage for those who really,
Can't afford.
yeah, can't
one.
afford. So I think I agree with this. It's good.
Okay. What about you, Lwal? What do you think about this?
Actually, when I read this news, I was a little bit confused, and that's why I'm going to take two sides.
Okay. Tell
I'm
me.
I'm
Tell
to take
me.
the good side and the bad side at the
Okay.
same time. Yes. First of all, for me, I would say it's good. Why? Because of what she just said. Men feel so entitled to us, especially we girls from Lake States, girls from Bor. I think these are the most expensive girls as per now in South Sudan. I think you do remember very well the case of Nyalum, who was married with 500 cows,
500 cows.
some
I
kind
remember
of
that.
V8, this kind of stuff. So, for me, I would say it's good because it's bad because you know you will have no say in the family when meetings are called, or when your husband tries to say something, or you try to tell him something, you're trying to advise him or something, and he will just say, oh, shut up, what do you know, just go in the kitchen, my friend. Or I married you because I wanted you to cook for me, wash for me, and give birth to my children. Above all, that's your work in this house, there's nothing more. And the other thing why it is really bad is because you see days back, days back of the cultures. Not days back of the cultures. In today's century, 21st century, the kind of life we're living, the kind of marriages we are living in are so commercialized. Like, there's a lot of things that are paid for. Imagine you paying for dowry 500 cows. That is just the traditional life. You're just paying that cow.
Right.
Yeah. And during that time, you're going to pay, you have to slaughter something for your in-laws. You know, I hear even in Bor people, you know, you have like before the guy comes to pay dowry, you have to go through a process, a series of girls, a
Right.
series of women, a series of men, in order now for you just to be accepted. Imagine that all that you have wasted would have brought you another wife, you know. So most of the marriages today are really framed too expensive, and the poor people, like those without, really end up like dying without even getting a wife. And yet, according to the South Sudan Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, that's Article 16, there's where it talks that everyone is entitled to have a family. So why make marriages very expensive, you know? And if you do remember very well, last year around November or December, the governor of Lake State decided like to burn down some traditional cultures like the yao yao, like garbage. This is the kind of thing that people do after paying dowry. Then like you have to pay extra to the mother-in-law, you know, like you have to pay this extra kind of thing. So reducing this amount of cows from whatever it was to 10 cows is really reasonable, because everyone in the society will have a right to the family, you know. And the other thing I would say that it's really good that they have reduced the cows to 10 is because if you do remember, in the traditional days of our forefathers, people were not even married at the age of 14. People could grow 20, 22, then you get married. And by that time, dowry was only given like in form of appreciation. Like, I'm thanking you for having brought up my wife, you know, for having instilled these values into them. So reducing it to 10 cows, we have gone back to the traditional ways, to the better ways of our forefathers, you know. And the other thing I would say, me as a Lual, is that reducing cows to 10 is very good. Why? Because of the community violence. When you look at these community interfights we are having today, why are people fighting? It's because of cows. Like, this community stole my cows, you know? So
I never thought about it like that.
like, you see, people are killing themselves because of cows. Yeah, these people raided my cows. These people did this. So reducing cows to 10 cows would be very good, because it would bring about, you know, this gap thing. Like, it would bridge that gap between the rich and the poor. No one will have more and
It
brag
will
over.
reduce
Yeah.
the value of cows.
Yeah, so me,
I never thought about it like
yeah,
that.
so for me, it's really good, because reducing it to that amount is going to reduce these community fights we are having, and I'm really happy. And I think for myself, other states like Lake State, like Jongole, should do the same.
Follow suit.
Yes, should follow. Like when Governor Rin Twain Mabur went to Lake State and brought peace, everyone else thought of following the same route he took, right? So I think what the administration of Ruweng did, other administrations too should follow it. And the other thing too I would say is that we women are, you know, it's like slavery, it's like slave trade. And when you go to our constitution of South Sudan, there's where it says that slave trade is a crime. Selling someone is a crime. You expect me Alwal have gone to school, and then you are like you're going to pay some kind of amount, and then you're just going to put me at home. What was all these years I was doing in school for? It's not for me just to go and sit at home. So reducing this amount of money, I mean this amount of cows, it's really going to make everything smooth in the house, because no one is going to brag, I bought you with this amount of money. Or, you know, in the community, someone starts moving like it's Jesus Christ in the community. No, because everyone is equal. The other thing too I'm going to say is that,
Sorry, Alwal, I'm so sorry to cut you off. For those following us online, I can see your hi, Clement, Senior's Hub. Hi, how are you doing? And John and Abdul Samad, hello. And I want to ask everyone else that is watching, what do you think about the reduction of bride price to 10 cows in Ruweng administrative area? Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Or what are your thoughts around this? Put it down in the comments below, and I'll come back to it at the end of the show, although we have only about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go. I would love to hear your thoughts. Yes, so Alwal, before you, I know you have a lot to
Just
say.
one more.
You have a
Just
lot
one
to
more.
say,
one more.
but I do want you to just think about it this way. I've always felt like bride price is not necessary, right? Just let it go completely. Not even one cow.
The one
Why-
allow. The
why-
one.
We thought they wouldn't even bring it down to 10, but now we're here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there's
sure.
there's change with time, but I've always been of the opinion we don't need it at all. Why? Because I feel like it puts a value on women, right? It puts a materialistic value on women. You can buy her, like what you kept saying. Oh, I bought you for this amount. I bought you for this number of cows. Do you know how much I had to spend? That's what bride price made the society feel about women, that it's almost like a product, like we are a product. This is your value. Take away that, and then everyone is on equal ground.
Sure,
You get
sure. Yeah.
either that, or if you're going to give my family a token of appreciation, what you were talking about, then I want to give your family a token of appreciation as well, so that we're on level ground. Then there's no such thing as, do you know how much I spent on you? Well, do you know how much I spent
Oh,
on you too?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I've always been of that opinion. What do you think?
Can I answer that?
You know
Yes,
what?
go ahead. Go ahead.
All
Why
right.
don't you?
I think we should be equalized as cows, because you won't brag around like, I was married with 500 cows, 100 cows, 10 cows, 50 cows. I want us to all be equal. See, it will bring equality, and we won't have this kind of side things. I want us to be equal when we're getting married.
What does that mean?
Like
I
how
want us to be equal. What does that mean?
it's like gender equality.
It's like,
Fairness.
Fair,
yeah,
like
but
being
how do
fair.
we, what I'm saying is, how do we achieve that? How do we get there?
I'm not really quite sure.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. You'll figure it out with time. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Alon.
sure.
You know what? You cut me out on my one point, but it's okay.
Tell me the one point.
The one point I was trying to say is that on the other hand, on the wrong hand about it reducing the bride price, is that our parents have so much done a lot for us, like really a lot, taking you from necessary school to primary school to secondary school to university level. And at the end of the day, what you expect from someone who would come is to pay 10 cows for you as bride price? It's something really crazy. For me, I would say there should have been some kind of level. Like there are those that haven't gone to school. Okay, their bride price should be different. That is, to me, that's my own idea.
Don't you think that makes there's some sort of division there, or you're actually putting value?
Discrimination.
You're not even
Have you
just
seen?
that.
Yeah, sure.
It's really, you're putting a specific value. Like, you didn't go to school, so you're not worthy enough.
No,
So
no,
then
Yeah,
you
that
don't
is-
get this
that
amount.
is it.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yes. So that's what it creates,
Mhm.
right? And to me, I just feel like whether you went to school, you're educated or not educated, you are of value. You are worthy,
Yeah.
right?
Anyways.
Regardless of what you, or what
you-
you've done with your life or not, you are very valued. Because let's be honest, what really is, education is great. It's really great, and it's very necessary and important, but it doesn't make the less educated of any less value. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't
Yeah.
even make them less smart. That's not true. We have parents. I'm going to say all of our mothers, most of them did not go to school, but these are some of the smartest women that we have
I
ever
know.
known.
You know why I was saying that is because you see, if you look into our Dinka tradition today, when people come back from where they have gone, to have green pastures and come back into the country, or those who are within Juba here and they have worked, there's a way they make we who have gone to school really less than, they only use these girls in city like for enjoyment, just like for time being, and they get back into villages. What is that meaning like to the society, like the kind of society we're living in today?
I understand what you're saying, and that exists, but it doesn't really reflect on you. It more so reflects on them, right? This is more of their opinion means I am of less value, or they are of more value. That's not true. It doesn't really reflect on you. This one is not on you at all. It's on them, right? So I don't want you to think about it in a manner of they're doing that because there's some sort of a difference between me and this other young woman who comes from the village or what's. No, there's nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with that person, right? So I feel like this conversation is going to go to different places. The good thing, the good news is that next week we're going to have part 2 of this conversation, and we're going to be joined by some of my favorite feminists in South Sudan. So this conversation is going to come bigger, right? So what we're going to do today is I want you to go back and actually think about what we've talked about here today. I know there was difference of opinion, there was different perspectives to different, like the Rueng case. You have different perspective, but the most amazing thing about this is that we're talking about it, and now you can go back and reflect on, oh, this person made me think about it a little bit like this. Next week we'll discuss more and more. What are your last words today? What would be your last words for the good people?
Let me press on. I think I want to be the last. Let her do it.
Go ahead, Alwa.
All right. I would really appreciate, first of all, Mama Rasaki for actually making me aware of the kind of society I'm living in, the kind of the kind of stuff that are really kind of issues that are really going on around, and we women are really silent about it because we believe that these things are normal, like they're normal to happen. And second of it, I would really thank Advanced Youth Radio and Gender Talk 211 for hosting us today. And you, Eve, I really appreciate you for the time and for the questions you've asked us. Really, the last thing I would ask the followers on Gender Talk 211 and those at Advanced Youth Radio is that as you're listening to us, change doesn't start from anywhere. Change starts within you. And something you need to know is that for you to move or to make that change is for you to love yourself, because we as women or we as young girls there's a way society has put it in us that we do not love ourselves. Like, you put the views of others first. But today, if you're listening to me, Alwal Marial, today, please, I want you, to put yourself first. Think about yourself. What purpose do you have? Love yourself, and loving yourself doesn't come from far. It starts from taking care of yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alwal. And
all right,
Raila?
It all goes to Mama Rasaki Village team. I'm real so grateful for the training of 5 days. I'm also happy to be hosted here. Like, it's my first time. So I'm also saying thank you for the viewers, for the followers, and thanks for the live video. Well, I know you guys are watching out there, and I know a lot of you don't agree with feminism and stuff, but it's not something bad. It's all about equality. We're all equal, and what we need to know is to change ourselves, to change our society, to make our country better, to be like other countries that we know that are great in the world. So there's nothing that we are creating here. It's all about love, and it's all about change. So thank you so much for watching us live, and thanks to you, Eva Lupa. Thanks to everyone out there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Raila. I'm not sure next week if it will be you and Alwal coming back to the show for the part 2 of Young Feminists Emerge, but I hope one of you at least will be here so we can follow up with the conversation that we've already started today. But you've done so well, yeah. And the one thing I would just tell you is that it's okay that you don't have it figured out. Right? It's really okay that you don't have all of the answers. It's okay that you don't know. It's okay that you don't understand. The best thing about you is that you're trying to figure it out. Even at my age, I don't know it all. I have not figured it out. I'm also still trying to figure it out. So it's okay, and don't put pressure on you, and try and quiet a lot of noise. Don't let it bother you or distract you. I'm really hoping that you come back next week, but that's not up to me. We will find out next week who will be back on the show. I'm hoping for one of you at least. And you out there that is watching us, I don't know what your thoughts are, but please put down in the comments what you think about the bride price being reduced to 10 cows in Roang administrative area, and if it should be, if other areas should follow suit and do the same thing, or if you're of my opinion and that bride price should be abolished completely and everyone should be on a level ground, right? If it's an appreciation, a token of appreciation, then the man can give it and the woman can give it as well, so that we remain on equal ground, right? I don't know. What do you think? Put your comments, put your opinion down in the comments below. And next week I'm going to come back to this show and actually read out some of your comments. For now, I want to say thank you for being here with us. Thank you, Alwal and Raila. It's really been a great show. I really loved this show. Great conversation. And thank you to you out there that is listening to us. And I want to say to you, drive safe and good night. This is Gender Talk 211. My name is Eva Lopa, and I will see you next week.